I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for February 12th, 2025 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call roll?
Trustee Beckman?
Here.
Trustee Lane?
Here.
Trustee Nix?
Here.
Trustee Orcutt?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Here.
Mayor Austin?
Here. Thank you. Agenda approval. Does anybody have any adjustments or changes to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am, we'd like to amend the agenda to add the swearing in of our 2 housing authority members right after citizens' comments.
Anything else? I'll take a motion on the agenda.
I'd like to approve the agenda with the amendment.
Second.
Madam Clerk, for a vote.
New system. Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Citizens' comments is next. Citizens' comments is the point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the town board on any items except agenda items for which there is a public hearing. Public comment on public hearing items will occur during the scheduled public hearing. All comments should be directed towards the town board. There is a 3-minute limit per speaker. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record. Are there any people that would like to address the board tonight?
Video on like to show.
Oh.
He said he was able to that.
Mayor, you good with that?
The other gentleman.
Yes, but there's...
I'm gonna have to guess pull yours out for a second.
I'll speak as it's playing.
Okay, which one do you want?
Number 2. Did that work? I'm sorry, I missed.
Let's go ahead and close this first. We can go ahead and start.
As this is playing, this is just a video footage of what I'm about to talk about. I'm here on behalf of the...
Can you state your name and address?
I'm sorry, my name is Aaron Colley. I'm at 9211 Meadow Farms Drive in Milliken. I'm here on behalf of the residents of Meadow Farms, and there it is. I'm here talking about the paving.
That? I'm sorry.
Are you able to enlarge
Rick is
that?
there and we don't enlarge that.
Double click on it
That's
instead
coming
of.
out.
If you double click
so
on it.
They see.
I'm
Sorry,
here.
it was very timely.
That's fine. Do you want me? I don't know when my time starts, so I don't want to. There we
Oh,
go.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
We're here to request that CR 44, the dirt road that connects our neighborhood to CR 19, be paved. This road is essential to our daily lives, yet in its current condition, it presents a significant challenge and dangers that need to be addressed. There are safety concerns here with the road being as muddy as it gets when it is wet. It becomes a problem both for the school bus that comes by twice daily, as well as any emergency access vehicles that may need to come by. The vehicle damages and costs are also an issue. It is we are one of two neighborhoods in the Milliken area that does not have paved access to the streets. And we believe that there will be a long-term cost saving for the city by paving it rather than just grading it every now and then. In conclusion, we believe that paving CR 44 is not just a matter of convenience, it's an issue of safety and long-term benefit for the entire community. We urge this council to take action and invest in paving this essential road. On behalf of the Meadow Farm residents, we thank you for your time and consideration.
What is the approximate length of
It is, I believe it's about a quarter mile. And if any of you are interested, I do have a print-up of notes.
Administrator, could you please elaborate on roads get? You have a capital improvements project list with priorities on it. And I don't know if John can speak to the approximate cost of paving a quarter of a mile. Would you approach that first?
You know, for paving, I'd have to go back and come up with the project cost for that.
John, you could come up here, sorry.
Good evening. For actual paving, I'd have to go back and come up with the total cost for paving, or another alternative might be to do a double chip seal, similar to what we did on Weld County Road 44.
46.
46.
Yeah, 46. Just flip-flopping.
Okay, you had gotten a cost a mile. Refresh my memory.
I'm trying to remember what it was too.
To go through and pave it,
Yeah.
it was close to 3 million.
That's what I understated. So to solve that problem, we did need.
Correct. Right around 200,000 by the time everything was all done and said.
Okay. We got the budget set for 5. With our current.
No, I think, if we have the funding for next year, it would be important to get, not to pave, I think, because there's going to be other development that'll probably occur out that way. And usually paving roads is something a developer takes care of. But in the meantime, much like we did on 21 and what we did on 46, doing the double chip would make it a much better road.
Just for everybody's word, the double chip is not the double chip does not have a 20-year life.
No.
Will need to be maintained.
Which is the time of year that we need to.
No, what was that, Mayor?
What time of the year? So it has to be in the summer months.
Yeah, it has to be in the summer, preferably June to the 1st of July, because the oil inside of that double chip, it needs time to cure.
Did you have anything else to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any other follow-up questions to what we've presented so far? Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mayor and Trustees. My name is Dan Krob. I live at 9441. Have to check with the boss. Meadow Farm Drive. I'll be real brief. A lot of my comments are going to be along the same lines. Just full disclosure, I am a municipal attorney, so I work with you guys, staff, all the time. I will say that your staff is very diligent. Every time it rains, they're out there with the grader fixing it. Just the amount of traffic we get out there, washboards that road. And I think 2 things. One, it's costly to probably rode a grader all the way out there, burn diesel, have one of your more experienced technicians out there working. And two, it is a safety issue. My truck, even doing the speed limit, back end goes sideways. I mean, we're talking the day after that thing is bladed. And again, your staff does a great job. I think more importantly than that, it is a safety hazard. It's hard to tell from this video, it just looks like a swamp, but about halfway down there, the road will usually dry out. There's water that comes from the south side to the north side of the road. And that creates a condition where you have a solid packed road, and then you have a mud bog. This tends to grab tires. I actually dropped my motorcycle on that road, so I understand you guys have budgets you have to work with, your paving priorities, all that stuff. Perfect world, you could just have this paid for us, that'd be great. I understand that's not going to happen. Maybe a double chip seal is a great compromise, but I do think this is entering the kind of knowingly hazardous condition that should probably bump this up on the priority. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Any other citizens wish to comment?
Oh, they'll all comment, but I told them to. If it's the same ones, well, I was trying to have them take it easy.
All right, you have been heard. We have a solution. It may not be quite as soon as what you would like, but hear what you have to say.
Is there an ability, I think this has come up before, right, Cheryl? And I believe you talked with John about possibly throwing some road base down or just something like temporarily to kind of limp things along. I mean, is that still a possibility that
I'm sure we
possibly
could
get
probably
done?
add some road base to the road, John. Yeah. So, I mean, it'll help some.
Right.
But yeah, we could add additional road base.
Very brief. I'm Randy Helzer, 9481 Meadow Farms Drive. What really would help, and Dan talked to it, if we could, I know it all takes money, but that south side in between where the farm is and 19, that's a bog in there, and that whole drainage system, if you will, coming off the road, it's all compromised. It's been graded so much that you've actually almost got a separate ditch that extends into the roadway. And if somehow that could all be graded and maybe even surveyed so that we get the drainage, proper drainage, that would be a big help. All the way down to where we're paved, needs it. The other thing about this road, being in a development, or feeding actually two developments, during the summer, when irrigation, the pivot hits that road for about probably 300-400 feet. So you end up going from a dusty condition with many cars on it, because it's not just a rural road, it's a feeder to developments. So you get all the dust, and then the pivot will hit it, and now you got a mud condition for, till it starts sprinkling again. It's just a big mess. It really is a mess. And even the dust can create health issues with homes being, with a prevailing northwest wind. We're right there, and we're catching all that dust off that road with oil rigs, farm equipment, and just all the traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. There's no further questions. Comments? I'll close citizens' comments. And we'll take a look at the minutes from January 22nd, 2025.
Can we do the swearing in real quick, Mayor? The swearing in?
Oh, sorry, I put it on after that. Yes, we're going to go back. We're going to swear in our new two new housing authority members. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should we appoint them?
If you could please join me. Yeah. If you could both raise your right hand, that's perfect. Both
Right,
raise your
right.
right
I thought
hand and repeat
for some
after
reason
me.
I thought-
I state your name.
I state your name.
Knew that was coming.
Do solemnly affirm
Do solemnly affirm
that I will support and enforce
that I will support and enforce
the constitutions and laws of the United States of America
the constitutions and laws of the United States of America
and the ordinances of the town of Milliken
and the ordinances of the town of Milliken
and the constitution and laws of the state of Colorado,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado,
and shall faithfully perform
and shall faithfully perform
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
the duties of the housing authority of the town of Milliken.
the duties of the housing authority of the town of Milliken.
Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Cheryl has a pen. Here, Lori.
Do we have a pen, Bill, that he can use?
You bet.
Thanks, Rick.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll get you a copy of the next one.
I didn't get that email. I don't think I did. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, now that we're back on track, we're looking at the approval of the previous meeting minutes from January 22nd, 2025. Do I have any comments? Take a motion.
I motion to approve the minutes from January 22nd, 2025.
Second?
Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Nix,
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman, Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Okay. Next item is the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. Just to inform you all, the settlement agreement for Meadow Farms with the developer has been received by the town. It was received on January 30th. So this is to complete some of the items that were never done that were in the development agreement. And we will be speaking about this at the work session on the 28th. 28th? Yeah. 26th.
Yes.
Great.
Also, staff has met and reviewed proposals for a different desk phone service provider. The current system is a Verizon system that has never worked very well. And the town offices and police department need to have a reliable system. The system that meets our needs, after reviewing the proposals we received, is Ring Central. Their monthly rates are less than what we are currently paying for the Verizon system. The biggest expense in changing services will be the implementation costs of $5,412.60. But Ring Central is going to provide us with a $3,000 credit on our monthly billing. So that will offset some of those expenses. Staff also sought proposals for a new company to conduct the town's compensation study. The town has used Lee and Burgess for many years, but this past year, when they were going to send us our 2025 update, we never received it. We have not received any responses to our emails or phone calls. So I had Kathy go out and get proposals from 3 different companies, and we've reviewed those. The proposal from Graves Consulting includes everything we are looking for. including updated job descriptions, which of course will cost us a little additional to do that this year, but it's been years since they've been updated. Many municipalities in northern Colorado utilize their services and highly recommend them. So, yeah, I don't know what happened with Lee and Burgess. My fear is something happened with the person that runs that company, so. But we need to make sure we stay on top of these studies. I have Sylvia giving me a report every couple of weeks. So Mickle has been averaging about 20 kids on a regular Tuesday. Currently, because of the middle school being moved into Johnstown, kids and parents are figuring out what bus to get on. Parents have also been dropping off their students. The homework club has been averaging about 10 students on Thursday afternoons from 3 to 4, so that's good. Sylvia is having great success with one-on-one connection with the students at like the high school when it comes to community court. So all that's going well. The next RJ Circle is scheduled for Thursday, February 20th. And I'll just keep bringing you her updates.
Any questions from the board or comments? Good job on staying top of stuff, Cheryl. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, we do not have anything on the consent agenda, so we will move right to the action agenda. First up is a public hearing to consider adoption of resolution number 25-05, a resolution approving the final plat for Sunfield subdivision, filing number 2, presenting is Pepper McClanahan, Community Development Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Trustees.
Can you please open the hearing?
What?
Open the public hearing.
Oh, sorry. The time is 6:51. I'm opening the public hearing. Please.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you tonight is a public hearing to consider replatting 2 tracts in the original Sunfield subdivision, tracts J and tracts K, to form an additional 21 lots. These tracts were included in the studies and planning in Sunfield, the first Sunfield filing, knowing that they would come back and want to plat these additional lots. So it's pretty short and sweet. We didn't get a lot of referral comments on this, and staff's recommending approval based on meeting the criteria. So I'm happy to answer any question, and the applicant is here to give you a presentation.
Opening now, we're approaching for public comment is Lot Holdings.
I have a presentation, very fancy for you guys. Let me get that pulled up real quick. Get that shared.
Abdul, you state your name.
I can, yes. Good evening, Mayor and Board. My name is Abdul Barzak. I'm with Ripley Design. We are the land planners on the project tonight, and speaking on behalf of the applicant, Lot Holdings Investments, LLC. Let me get this guy shared for us real quick. It's trying to kick up there. Let's try one more time. Bear with me. I'm usually really good at this, but apparently not tonight. Let's see here. Where? You see that Zoom meeting on there by any chance of how we can get that shared up on that screen?
We will once you're started.
Okay. Perfect. Well, then we will share it and hopefully it'll go. Perfect. Thinking about it. Perfect. That looks like it's working now. Again, thank you, folks. As I said, my name is Abdul Barzak with Ripley Design. We appreciate your understanding, as I know that you folks have seen this item on your agenda for the past few meetings, as our team has worked with town staff to get that development agreement finalized. Our team felt it was important for the board to be able to review that development agreement in its final form, which it now is, and it's included in your packet on page 59. I'd like to start with giving a little bit of project background tonight. I know that you're all familiar with the Sunfield subdivision, so I will be quick here. Sunfield is generally located south of Inez Boulevard and east of Alice Avenue, right here in Milliken. Diving a little bit further, the Sunfield subdivision filing, as you all know, was approved by the Board of Trustees in early 2019 and recorded in March of that year, which is the graphic you see here. That subdivision included 252 single-family residential lots and 11 tracts. Those tracts were mainly made up of open space and parks, as well as some easements that continue to serve that subdivision today. However, two of those tracts, which are Tract J and Tract K, were set aside for future development. They're in red here. Tract J is on your left-hand side, and Tract K is on your right. At the time of the approval of the original subdivision in 2019, 2 oil and gas wells were in the process of being plugged and abandoned by the Energy and Carbon Management Commission, which at the time was known as the COGCC, in compliance with section 164600 of the Milliken Land Use Code. Those were set aside for future development and not platted at that time. I'd like to quickly go into the oil and gas a little bit more. That information is included in your packet, so I'll try to be brief here as well. Looking first at Tract J, was a plugged-in abandoned well whose API number is on your screen ending in 846. It was plugged, abandoned, reclaimed, and approved by the Energy and Carbon Management Commission on June 11th of 2019. I did joke with the Planning Commission that June 11th is my dad's birthday. Turns out that's only relevant to me, but now you guys know too. Final plug-in and abandonment information and documentation was provided to town staff and reviewed. It is also included in your packet, so we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And then looking at Tract K, whose API number is also on your screen, was also plugged, abandoned, reclaimed, and approved by the Energy and Carbon Management Commission on May 29th of 2019, which is unfortunately not my mom's birthday. Could you imagine? Final plug-in and abandonment documentation was also provided to town staff and reviewed. It is also in your packet. Both wells have been successfully plugged and abandoned for over 5 years now and can be developed both in compliance with the state of Colorado as well as the regulations here in the town of Milliken, which brings us to the reason we are here tonight. Town staff has been great to work with and they did a good job, so I won't belabor you with too much, but our team is asking for the town board to review and approve the final plat of the Sunfield subdivision, filing number 2, which is the replat of Tracts J and Tracts K, which you see there. A little bit more about the project, just so you folks are aware. So Tract J, which is on the left-hand side there, is taking a 121,000 about square foot tract and subdividing that into 11 single-family lots. Those will be known as Block 2, lots 1 through 8, and Block 3, lots 1 through 3. That existing East Lavender Lane, which you see on that north side there, will continue west from its current termination point and then head south, becoming South Lavender Circle, ending in a cul-de-sac. And that roadway network has been designed to essentially match the existing platted right-of-way to create a cohesive feel there. And then Tract J, shown on the right-hand side, is about 65,000 square feet. It's being subdivided into 10 single-family residential lots. That's Block 1, lots 1 through 10. Now this is fun. The property is bound on the west by South Horseman Avenue, on the east by South Pennycrest Drive, and on the south by East Moonflower Lane, and then on the north it is by Block 14, lots 1 and 2 of the original Sunfield subdivision, so neatly nestled right in there. In total, Sunfield filing number 2 is trying to plot 21 new single-family residential lots here in Milliken. They've all been designed to conform with the existing subdivision. We'll have a similar lot sizes as well as the same setbacks. The intention here is to create a cohesive, high-quality, and attractive neighborhood. Lastly, here on this last slide, what you see is some of we like to show the caliber of homes that we built here in Milliken. The homes that will be built in filing 2 are of similar style and are designed to match the aesthetic of the existing Sunfield subdivision. They will also meet all model and block diversity requirements as laid out in code. We've worked with town staff who have been helpful with their coordination there. So those are just some current builds. With that, I want to thank you for your time, and we ask for approval of the final plat of Sunfield subdivision filing number 2. We're happy to answer questions. Thank you.
Okay, questions from the board, starting with Trustee Lane.
I have no questions.
Trustee Nix?
No questions.
Trustee Beckman?
No questions.
Trustee Orcutt.
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman, any questions? Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Just a point of clarification on the well sites that have been plugged and abandoned. I saw one was in the road right away, and I'd read where that was permissible, I assume. And it appeared to me that the one on the east side was in basically the backyards. Would there be any buildings over that site, or would they be set back from the well site?
Yeah, no, sir, you're 100% correct. So in the town of Milliken's code, there's very clear restrictions of what can be built in there. There's a 25-foot, essentially, like border buffer that goes around that, which seats very neatly in the back of those backyards. So no structures will be planned in there. There's plenty of setback requirements in space, so be fully compliant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? All right, just a couple points of clarification on the documentation. It's marked Maury O. well number 13-3, indicates on our documentation that it was plugged and abandoned on May 9th, 2019. Was that the one that was plugged on your dad's birthday?
That was almost on my mom's birthday. That's the second one. Yes.
Okay, so can we have that documentation updated? And then the Ehrlich well 13-22 doesn't specifically show what date on our documentation. We could just have that updated. It would be
Most definitely. We can make sure that we get that all to town staff. That one was on my dad's birthday. But yes, we can get that over to you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that was all the questions I had for that area. I was looking at the drainage letter. This one might be more for Pepper McClanahan, but let's just see who can best answer this. So 2023, we had 500-year event rains. We had flooding come down, Inez, wonderful site. See all that water come in, and the retention ponds or detention ponds over in that area completely filled up. So my question is, are we going to be able to handle any water, especially with our new storm drainage project going in down Quintine? How does that all fit together is my question.
I think John Ravis can answer that best.
Okay.
I wasn't going to put you on the spot, John.
I have an answer.
A lot of that water that went into the Sunfield storm drain was released from the Hillsborough ditch when that ditch got plugged and overtopped the roadway. That happened 3 times during that event.
We shouldn't have.
Right, we shouldn't have any problems. The drainage study has been completed for the entire site, and the pond is built.
I assume that
Okay. Right.
Park is
That was my
here.
only concern, is, you know,
Right,
people
thank you.
complain when there's flooding. Heavy complaints, I might add. Any other questions from board members? Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes, just a point of clarification. I'm getting my map up here, but is the park track G?
Is there a park? Right. Yeah, that's all good.
Oh, we're going to get you a picture real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, so let's see here. Oh, let's see if my cursor is going to work and show. No, I'll point and use. So track K that you can see essentially is that little, it's on the right-hand side. It's the 10 that's nestled between all those roads. Track G is right above that. It's kind of that triangle piece where those roads come through. And as John mentioned, that is from the first filing. Sir.
Is it a park?
Yeah. Right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's just grass, or is there anything there besides just grass?
I believe in that park, John, you can maybe speak to that a little bit
I
better.
can't remember what exactly is in that pocket park in the landscape drawing. So I have to go back and look.
Right.
There
I'd
is
like to
equipment
know-
in there.
A water slide?
I'm not sure. Yeah, thanks for the one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there is park equipment in that one. I believe it's
we can get that back and get it to town to forward on to you folks.
Any final questions from board members? Nice presentation. Thank you very much. Did you have a...
Madam Mayor, I apologize. I need to make a correction. We do have a condition of approval, and basically that's before we record the plat, should you decide to approve it tonight, that we need the development agreement executed and the surety posted. So I left that out of the motion. So if whoever makes a motion, if you would include that, I'd appreciate it.
Was that to add in, subject to the developer agreement?
I believe that those conditions are already stated in the resolution, so I think we're covered.
Okay.
Give us a second to confirm that.
The surety wouldn't be posted until we're ready to start. Finalize. And immediately post.
Give me just a second. I want to look
It's
at
all
that
good, yeah.
resolution.
So reading the resolution, and this could be amended by the motion, it says that the final plat for the Sunfield subdivision, filing number 2, is approved subject to execution of the development agreement and posting of surety prior to recordation of the plat. Okay?
Yeah, we typically post surety right before we start, and this is probably a year away.
Can you amend it to say prior to the pre-construction meeting?
Yeah, commencement of construction is.
Yeah. So you could amend the condition to say upon execution of the development agreement, prior to recordation of the plat, and posting of the surety at the pre-construction meeting. Does that work?
That's great.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? All right. The time is 7:07. I'm closing the public hearing. And I will now take a motion on the matter.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I may need a little help on this one. Hang on here. Yeah. Oh.
Rah, rah.
Dan, would you like me to propose a motion so you can just say so moved?
Do it.
Okay, give me just a second.
So moved.
We'll make sure it's the lawyer's fault if anything goes awry.
Man, we're having a rough
This is
time.
when you need AI.
I can't get the agenda right.
Okay. I move to approve resolution number 2025-05, a resolution approving the final plat and development agreement for Sunfield subdivision filing number 2, amended to allow posting of the surety at the pre-construction meeting.
So moved.
A second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman? Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Nice seeing you, John. See you soon.
All right, next item on the agenda is consideration and adoption of ordinance number 822, an ordinance of the town of Milliken updating the requirements for cross-connection systems. Presenting is Don Stone, Brink Water and Wastewater Director.
Evening, Mayor and Trustees. This ordinance will update the requirements for the cross-control connection systems program the town has. It'll be more in line with the state requirements, and it'll also help our administrator to better control the reports that we send to the state. And one of the changes is to make the annual reports due a little closer together so that we have a requirement at the end of the year, a percentage. Sometimes they overlap the next year. This will allow us to better control that.
Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Wakeman? Trustee Beckman?
No questions.
Trustee Orcutt?
No questions.
Trustee Nix?
No questions.
Trustee Lane?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Sorry. I noticed in purpose it says public hearing. Is it really a public
No,
hearing?
it's not a public hearing.
I didn't think so. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you. That's all I have.
And I don't have any questions. Thank you for presenting. I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to adopt ordinance 822 and ordinance of the town of Milliken, Colorado, updating the requirements for cross-connection systems.
I second.
Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is authorization of the mayor to sign a construction agreement with Hydro Resources for the construction of the Colony Point Recharge Well and testing. Presenting is John Ravis, Streets and Facilities Director.
Good evening. The Colony Point Recharge Well will produce between 150 to 300 gallons per minute. The Watson Lake and the Colony Well will supply the non-pot water to the Early Lake pump station during shoulder season. We intend to use the water from Early Lake during the summer months, which is supplied by the Hillsborough Ditch and any stormwater events.
Questions from the board? Trustee Lane?
I have no questions.
Trustee Nix?
No questions.
Trustee Beckman?
No questions.
Trustee Orcutt?
Is this what we were talking about in our work session?
Yes.
Okay, no questions.
Well, this is, one part of it.
Okay, yeah, and then there was the 5,000
Right.
left. Okay, yeah, I'm good. No questions.
And Trustee Wakeman?
Yes. Is this the item that's going to require us to do a budget amendment before the end of the year?
This item will not. Currently, right now, we have $151,590 remaining in the Earl Lake Pump Station budget, if you will. This item is under that amount.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. No further questions. I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign a construction agreement with Hydro Resources for the construction of the Colony Point Recharge Well construction and testing for $146,770.
I second.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the professional engineering services for the town of Milliken's wastewater treatment plant, USDA preliminary engineering report. Presenting is Cheryl Powell, town administrator.
Thank you, Mayor and Trustees. This engineering service is for looking at the wastewater treatment plant and determining whether it needs to be re-rated or expanded. Currently, we're approaching the 80% mark, which initiates engineering for these types of facilities. In doing so, we need to have an engineering report, especially if we're going to go out and look for funding for this project, whether it be a grant or otherwise.
Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Wakeman?
No questions.
Trustee Beckman?
I just want to clarify for the record that this is in the budget and this was anticipated.
Yes, this is in the budget.
Trustee Orcutt?
I was just curious what USDA agency. does grants for these type of things?
I'm sorry?
What USDA department does grants for these things?
Is that rural development?
It would
Is it
be
rural
rural development, I believe.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I saw that. So.
Yeah, they helped us with the water line too, coming from Greeley down Highway 257. So,
No more questions.
Trustee Lane?
Question, is this report just to look at doubling the size of the current facility, or does it also include the possibility of building another one?
now this report would be on this facility itself. Whether we expand it or have it re-rated. Don could explain re-rating to you better than I can, but what it determines is if there is more capacity than what it was originally built for by changing up a few of the components of the wastewater treatment plant. And this will also look at, since the plant is almost 20 years old, you know, what's outdated in it, what needs to be brought to current standard.
So there's no recommendation of building another plant, it's just that might be like they might say that that might be something that you should consider, or?
No, I don't believe that'll happen. It's easier to expand than to build another one, especially on that site. We have plenty of room on that site. If we were to build another plant, it wouldn't be in the same area, it would be elsewhere.
Right. But I'm just asking if that report would see the way that our town is laid out and the flow, and say you would be better off building another smaller plant in another place.
Probably not, and also because what everybody's trying to do now is regionalize everything. Instead of having a plant here, a plant there, have it all together. If we've got the room in that area, it would remain there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Trustee Yes?
Have we used this engineering firm before? Do we have a relationship with them? Is there a reason that you want to work with them?
So we work, our contract engineering services and Tate recommends this engineering firm that they would work with in regard to this project.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
Are you sure?
It's past his bedtime. Wrap it up.
Is there no further questions? Oh, did I? I did you. Okay. If there's no further questions, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize Town Administrator Cheryl Powell to sign the proposal with Tate and Associates for the engineering services for the Town of Milliken's wastewater treatment plant preliminary engineering report.
I second.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the consideration of amendment to Town Administrator Employment Agreement. Presenting is Matthew Gould, our legal department.
Thank you, Mayor Austin. What you have before you is the fourth amendment to the Town Administrator Employment Agreement. This is a relatively short amendment, just one page. This is something that the board revisits approximately annually, and this year's amendment does not contemplate a salary adjustment, but it does approve an adjustment to retirement benefits. It also contains an administrative adjustment to clarify that the agreement is at will, which is already stated in the agreement, but one of our prior amendments created an ambiguity about the termination date, so it should clarify that this is an ongoing agreement. There are two blanks that need to be filled in: the effective date for, assuming the board approves a change to the retirement benefits, and also the percent of contribution. So, happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Trustee Lane?
What is the recommended percent that we're looking at?
I think numbers that I have heard have been 3 to 4%.
Currently, the board contributes 9%.
So it would be, I'm sorry, that was not, I didn't give a clear answer. It would be an addition of 3 to 4%, so it would be 12 to 13%. Is that right?
Correct.
Right.
Anything else? Trustee Nick?
No questions.
Trustee Orca?
No questions.
Trustee Beckman?
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
All right, I do have a question. When is the effective date of the employee raises? Can you provide clarification? Is it February 1st they take effect, or?
It's the first full pay period in January.
First full?
Right. So if, I don't know what that date was.
January 4th
January 4th.
Okay.
was when they started.
Thank you, Wade.
Thank you for the clarification. All right, do I have recommendations on a motion?
I would recommend it to be 12.5% effective January 4th, 2025.
Any other recommendations from the board?
So you're splitting the difference?
That'd be 3.5.
And it's 9 right now? Okay. All right.
Does that complicate things?
I'm not sure if we can go back on a contribution like that.
Yeah, on retirement
Do the half?
contributions.
Check into it.
If we can go back.
Yeah, just an administrative piece of, we hear what you want and we will attempt to make that happen.
Does the
But-
0.5% complicate things?
No, ma'am. The 0.5% isn't a complication. The complication will be making it effective January 4th. Should not be a problem, but I want the board to be aware of any bumps we might have making that happen.
So I would suggest that the motion state that it be the earliest valid effective date,
Perfect.
not earlier than January 4th.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Any other comments, Trustee Wakeman? Do you have any comments?
Why not the full 4?
I'm good with the full 4.
I am as well. It's a point of discussion. I'm just curious. The 3.5 is fine too. I just was curious of the thought process on
Splitting
just
the
splitting
difference is all, but I have no problem one way or the other.
Okay, cool. Then I'll take the motion.
I move to approve the Fourth Amendment to amend, Fourth Agreement to amend the Town Administrator Employment Agreement with a percentage for contribution to retirement benefits of 13%, such change to take effect no earlier than January 4th, 2025, subject to the conditions of the retirement firm.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really well.
Thank you all very much.
Oh, you gave one up?
You do a great job for us, I really appreciate it. We have nothing
My
on the
pleasure.
discussion agenda. We do have any board reports. Anybody want to discuss any meetings that they have attended?
Yes.
No, let it roll.
So we had a CJC meeting yesterday morning, and we met with Lighthouse caseworkers from Well DHS. There's a lot of great assistance available to families through Lighthouse and support to families on TANF. They do kinship support, SSI family support for DHS families, but they offer a lot of assistance with like behavioral issues for families that are not currently in the system. So they kind of put people where they need to be. It's a really, really good program. So Lighthouse. Community court, I know that Cheryl kind of went over some things. Sylvia has 19 kids on her caseload right now. We would like to maybe discuss an IGA with Johnstown and their courts to see if we can bring some of our Milliken kids back to work with Sylvia. We did one, because Scott was in the courtroom and requested it, and they allowed it.
Oh.
So that was when the middle school moved. That was
Who's Scott?
Huh?
Which Scott?
Nick's.
Okay, I didn't know if you meant Nielsen or.
No.
Okay.
My husband. And so that was one of our concerns when the middle school moved to Johnstown, was how do we take care of our kids? And then Mickle attendance is good after the middle school moved. She's hoping that it gets better as people figure out schedules. Mickle Junior, I don't know if you mentioned that one, but Mickle Junior has 10 kids meeting every week, and those are 4th and 5th graders. And so getting them in early and mentoring them and is pretty awesome. Truancy workshops, we have one this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. So if you want to come see some of the things that we do, trying to keep kids in school and get them back going to school, they're really neat to attend. And then August 2nd, Allie was talking about an RMS Back to School Resources Day, where they're going to have backpack giveaway from Shields and just a whole bunch of resources for families. So it was a good board meeting.
Well, thank you for your report. Any other reports?
I attended the North Front Range NPO.
Congratulations.
With great discussions on air quality. That was the extent of it.
Okay. Any other meetings to discuss? All right, any further business come before the board? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out. There we go.